that 2-month-old strike. Away from Nigeria now, Guinea's long-delayed legislative election aimed at completing the mineral-rich West African nation's transition to democracy will be held on September the 24th this year. However, analysts are of the opinion that civil unrest is likely to escalate around upcoming election cycles and impact mining operations. Mortala Ture, senior analyst at IHS Country Risk, joins me now to analyze the risk of civil unrest in Guinea and its impact on the economy. Thank you so much, Mortala, for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Well, let's start with how your assessment of the risk of civil unrest in Guinea. Is it likely to escalate around or beyond the September 24 parliamentary elections?
Thank you very much. The indicators we are seeing in Guinea point to an increase in risk of civil unrest. We've seen since President Alpha Conde came into power in 2010, first of all, the election was highly disputed, and right after the election, the parliamentary election was meant to be held on July 2011, and up to now is almost halfway of his mandate, and he has not got a parliament in place. We've seen the organization of the parliamentary election has been marred by violence from the opposition. So, and now that we've seen a kind of lull in political violence, and they've all come together. Just yesterday, we had also a press conference from the main opposition leader, Cellou Dalein Diallo, who is a Fula. He said that it is not out of place that the election would be, they will call for another postponement because they think that the electoral process is not transparent and credible. So it's even throwing doubts again further for the holding of the election on the 24th of September.
Now, how much of this could how much of that could impact on the economy? Of course, the image of the economy, perhaps destruction of assets. Are you very worried?
Yes, investors are worried. The Guineans are worried. Already the minister, they're saying that the unrest is really costing the economy some serious amount of money, and they estimated that up to 190 million, the country will lose up to 190 million, 140 million rather, this year. That was the planning minister, Secretary, that made this remark. And the European Union has also given them, the Guinean government, an ultimatum that if they don't hold the election before the 31st of October, they're going to withhold. They're going to freeze $190 million development fund. You know, Guinea badly needs this money. The country currently, it's not an exaggeration to say the country is in a state of, it's not yet in a state of recovery. It's a kind of in a state of intensive care, and they badly need this money to create jobs, to provide public services. And we saw early August the protest, 3 days of protest in Conakry that led to destruction of property because of power outage. And the government currently has hired a private firm to provide, a kind of stopgap measure to provide power. And this is costing the government like $10 million for just 6 months provision of power. So, I mean, the faster they can organize these the parliamentary election, the earlier they can get the parliament in place, the better for the country economy as well as for the mining sector.
Well, how soon do you hope that the government can get past all of this and focus on developmental issues?
We think the pressure currently from development partners, from ECOWAS, AU, as well as the UN, I think is gaining traction. We saw quite recently they put in place a ad hoc committee to kind of provide an oversight rule to the Independent Electoral Commission, and we think that they are likely to leverage their influence on opposition candidates like Cellou Dalein Diallo, and we think that it's highly likely that the 24th September election will go ahead. But like I said, the risk is there. We saw recently Alpha Conde just last week. He went to Kankan, and opposition youths, they heckled him, tried to disrupt his rally, and that has led to the dismissal of the governor in Kanka. So these are all indicators to show that the tension is increasing. But we are hopeful that by come 24th September there will be a parliamentary election, and we'll move past one of the key milestone for the democratic transition.
Thank you so much, Murtala Toure, for sharing your thoughts and giving us your own perspective on the situation. Murtala Toure, Senior Analyst at IHS Country Risk on Guinea's parliamentary